Today we're looking at the commissions spreadsheet assignment. It's the Dunkirk Canvas Company wants you to create a worksheet that displays a list of its salespersons, their quarterly sales amounts, their commissions, and their bonuses. So then it asks you to enter the following data into a new Excel spreadsheet. I've already entered that data in. I need to go through and make this look a little bit neater, but all my data so far is, as far as what was given to me, is entered into this spreadsheet. So let's go back to our instructions. The first thing it tells us is to use an if function to calculate the commission amount for each salesperson. So we're going to have to use an if function, and it says the commission amount is 10% of quarterly sales if quarterly sales is under 225,000. So let's just start there. So we're calculating commission, and it's going to equals if, because we're using that if function again. And for some of you, you might like to just use the function button once you've started entering a function. You can just hit the formula button there, and it will pull up the function arguments and kind of lead you through it. It's like a little wizard here. So we're going to check if our quarterly sales are less than 225,000. That's my first statement. Then I'm going to try get back to my spreadsheet. Alright, so if the quarterly sales amount is under 225,000, then the commission was 10%. Alright, so if this is true, then I want my commission to be my quarterly sales times, I could either do times 10%, or I could do it times 0.1. Either one is mathematically the same thing. Now, if this is false, like in the case of Lynn, where she had 350,000 in sales, if that's false, if her quarterly sales were greater than or equal to 225,000, then I need to go back to my assignment here, and it says it's 15% of quarterly sales if the sales amount is more than 225,000. So if this is false, in other words, if this quarterly sales is more than 225,000, then I need to do my quarterly sales times 0.15 or times 15%. Either one will give me the same result. So click OK, and it calculated the commission for Lynn was 52,500, and I can just drag that formula down and I'll calculate it for each of my employees. And it doesn't matter if her quarterly sales amount changed. Notice how that's going to automatically calculate the correct commission for her. Next column is the bonus column, and if we look back at our assignment, it says use an if function with words to determine which salesperson will receive a bonus. So if a salesperson's quarterly sales are equal to or greater than 300,000, they get a bonus. Otherwise, no bonus. So again, we're using an if statement here. So equals if. Well, first we're going to check our quarterly sales greater than or equal to. Notice how I can just use the greater than and then the equal sign. That will give me greater than or equal to 300,000. Don't put a comma in your numbers. If you put a comma in your number, it really kind of confuses the computer, and it thinks we're entering the next part of our statement. So we're just going to put just the numbers, then our comma. And if that's true, if quarterly sales is greater than or equal to 300,000, then I want it to say bonus. Oops, gotta spell that right. Otherwise, this is that otherwise statement. So if this is not true, if the quarterly sales are not greater than or equal to 300,000, then I want to say no bonus. Close my parentheses, and I can drag that formula down. And pretty. Bonus, bonus, no bonus, no bonus, no bonus. the next part of the assignment says use an if function to calculate the bonus amount. If there is a bonus, as stated in our bonus column, then it's 5% of quarterly sales. So I guess our first thing is if, again, if this right here, if that says bonus, so equals bonus, then I'm going to do my quarterly sales times 5% or 0.05. See how I did that? So if this says bonus here, then I'm going to calculate a bonus. Otherwise, if that's not the case, if it doesn't say bonus, then their bonus is simply 0. So otherwise 0. And again, I can drag that formula down and it works. For those that received bonuses, we calculated it, and for those that didn't receive it, we got zeros. And so then our total quarterly pay, as it says in our spreadsheet, our total quarterly pay is salary plus commission plus bonus amount. So I'm just going to sum across here, and I know I'm adding in that word bonus, but it really won't add that because it's not a number. So I can just do that sum across. The other way I could do it would be equals salary plus, click on the right one there, commission plus bonus. Either way, it gives me the same result. And if I drag that down, we get our total quarterly pay for each person. We can also add up, we can sum up each of these columns like it asks us to. Again, that's just that sum formula. Sum, and then choose the data that we want. And I can actually drag across as well. Oop, let me grab the right thing there. I don't need a sum there, so I'll just delete that. And lastly, we're going to average out our average quarterly sales for each of those salespeople. And again, average quarterly salary, commission, etc. I can just drag across, and I'll get rid of the one that doesn't really matter. I still need to change all of this data into, change all of this data into currency. So let's change that to currency. It's looking pretty right now. I think one of the other instructions was to alphabetize these, so I want to alphabetize them by last name. So I'm going to select my last names. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to sort. I'm going to sort them from A to Z, and that will kick up this sort warning. If I don't expand the selection, all I'm going to do is rearrange the last names. So I'd put Summers on the bottom and it would be Jack Summers, which doesn't make sense. So I really want to expand the selection so it will organize it A to Z by these names, but it will move all the data in the row there. So I do that, and notice I've got Lynn Summers on the bottom, I've got Jack Bell up on the top, and all the information was properly sorted. I believe that is it for this assignment. We can double check. You know, we formatted the cells to currency. We should put a thick bottom border in to make it look nice. And then we need to create a 3D pie chart that as an object in the worksheet that compares the total quarterly pay for the various employees. So let's quickly do that pie chart. And put that line in there. Put a border across the top there, so we kind of break it off. And then let's create a pie chart of this data. So let's highlight the data, insert a pie chart. We set a 3D one. Looks pretty, except that it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. We really want to change those labels, so I'm going to right-click and select my data. I could have also gone up here to select data. I'm going to edit my labels, and so I'm going to edit these. And notice how that changed it immediately for me. And we've got Jack Bell, Sue Brandis, etc. If I wanted, I could, you know, put percentages in. I should probably change the title to say quarterly pay. But after that, I think we are done with our spreadsheet. We've got our border in. We could do a few more things to make this look a little nicer, but I'm just going to leave it as is for now, and leave that stuff up to you.